Welcome back to this new inspirational video. Today I wanted to go over the concept of free will or fate as it was shared to us by Emmet Fox. Now before we start this video, I wanted to share with you this concept and build upon it throughout the rest of the video itself. Through the free will we have, we shall make the realization of our dreams our own fate. How about that? Perhaps you prefer that mindset more so than believing in fate on its own, for your dreams will be left up to chance or luck, and doesn't feel very empowering from that angle, now does it? Well, this is what Emmet Fox had to say about it. The capriciousness of destiny was a favorite subject with the old-fashioned novelists. In their 3-volume world, people's lives were at the mercy of traveling accidents from day to day. A person's whose life was spoiled because one letter was stolen or went astray. The hero rose from obscurity to wealth and fame through meeting a casual stranger in a railroad car, or through saving someone from drowning at the seashore. One false step ruined an otherwise promising career. One turn of fortune's wheel solved all problems for someone else. All this is nonsense. We are not at the mercy of accident, for there are no accidents, and trials have only trivial effects. In the long run, you demonstrate your character, and you cannot ultimately miss the mark for which you are fitted, because of any other outer accidents. A particular incident may give you a temporary advantage, or cause your past grief or inconvenience, but it does not change your life story. An energetic and enterprising man who attends to his business will make a success of his life, whether he meets a helpful stranger in a railroad car or not, and whether a particular letter concerning him is lost or not. The miscarriage of a letter may deprive him of a particular position. Meeting with a helpful and influential stranger may bring his success a little sooner, but if he has the qualities demanded for success, he will succeed in any case. And if he lacks those qualities, no help from the outside can make him successful. No nation is destroyed by the loss of one battle. When a nation is weak in natural resources and divided within itself, it cannot stand. But it is this structural weakness that brings about its fall. If it were united, well organized and armed, it could lose the battle and still win the war. Your own character makes or breaks you. This is true of the individual, of a nation, of a party, of a church, or of any institution. If you seem to yourself to be lacking in certain necessary qualities, if your character seems to lack strength, ask God to give you what you need, and He will. You can build any quality into your mentality by meditating upon that quality every day. Now that is what Emmet had to say, and now we're gonna build upon this, because as I said at the start of the video, I'll repeat it. Through the free will we have, we shall make the realization of our dreams our own fate. Now how about that? Isn't that what you want? You have dreams, I have dreams, we all have, but now we don't want to have it be left up to chance or luck alone. We want to make it happen for ourselves. Now how are we going to go about doing that? How do they define the word fate? Well, one of the ways they describe the meaning of the word is with this line: the development of events outside of a person's control, regarded as predetermined by a supernatural power. Now that is how they describe the word fate. Now what is your own imagination other than a supernatural power? Oh yes, you have found the secret to manifestation by grasping the power of imagination. Dreams, when they first hit your consciousness, are of a supernatural nature. They exist on a metaphysical level, and we will bring them out in time-space reality. If this wasn't true or possible, then we could never make our dreams come true, as we sometimes say, or achieve our dreams, as others mention all the time. We know all these sayings: go for your dreams, make your dreams come true, make it happen, realize your dreams, this and that. I mean, we're already admitting it's possible to take fate into our own hands, because it is in fact a supernatural occurrence when you have a desire that is totally independent of the physical world itself. This should give you great hope that it is not up to fate alone, even though fate is part of it, but we're going to do it in the right way, from the right angle. So we're going to use our free will again, so that we can make the realization of our dreams our own fate. The most important part that Emmet Fox talked about and mentioned real quick was these qualities of success. Do you know what the qualities of success are? Well, the qualities of success can be a large list if you think about it. There's so many little elements that we might be building into our character that can help us succeed. However, there's a few main true elements behind every successful endeavor that we really want to grasp, because once we do that, we are developing the qualities needed in order to achieve success in any calling. Now, of course, if you've been watching the videos for a while, it must be clear that one of these qualities of success is using your imagination in a certain way. So you have to know exactly where you want to go. And as easy as it sounds, as obvious as it may sound, most people don't have any clue on where they want to go to begin with. They have a vague idea of what they would like to realize, but then it always is coupled with all these doubts and worries and thoughts that it might not be possible for them to realize it anyway, so they don't really make their own goals clear enough. And yet it is one of the most important qualities of a successful person, is that they know exactly what they want. And this is where your free will comes in, because it is through your free will we can always decide for ourselves, what am I going to build towards? What am I going to work towards? So ask yourself, what are you going to work towards? And then just because you don't know exactly how to make it happen, doesn't mean that it's up to fate or chance whether you will make it happen, whether you can really realize it or not. An interesting point that we should never forget, the more I study metaphysics on my own, is that many of these texts that were shared by these great authors and speakers were from a time where, for example, the internet, as we have it now, didn't even exist in many cases. You know, the further we go into the 1900s, the closer it comes to a point where the internet started to develop and come into view, but many of these people were speaking in a time where they were highly dependent on being physically present to do business with people. Because of the internet, you can always express your dream in a certain way to the world already, from your current place of living. You don't even have to leave your home if you have the connection to the internet available to you. This is how you take your free will into your own hands and make use of it in the right way. Because fate is ultimately a detriment. If you believe that it's all up to fate, you will never truly believe and exercise the true power that you have in order to make your dream happen. So one of the qualities of success, again, is knowing exactly what you want, having a clear vision of where you want to go. A second quality of success would be willpower, developing your ability to stay focused on that particular dream, no matter any of the obstacles you might encounter physically speaking. Really consider this very well for yourself. How good are you at concentrating on any given dream? Are you concentrating fully on that dream day in and out? And it's easier to concentrate on something if indeed you truly know what it is that you're after, and you can see all the benefits that will come into your life if your dream were a reality. This is another thing that successful people either consciously or unconsciously are doing. Now, one of the most fun parts about this whole point that Emmet made is, for me, the description of him saying that you don't need to meet this helpful stranger in a railroad car, or this person who has a lot of influential power, or a stranger that you need to send a letter. Because this is so true. Most people will reason, because I don't have the right context, I cannot succeed, I cannot make my dream happen. I need the right connections. When I grew up, I heard this all the time. That people would say, well, you do need the right connections to succeed in life, Ranil. Well, that may have been true to a certain extent a long time ago, when societies were totally different. We're talking about like hundreds of years ago. Perhaps then it might have been really dependent upon other people helping us out to make something happen. But in this day and age, if you really think about it, again, because of the internet, you're in a position to reach the whole world with whatever you want. But maybe you don't want to create in that sense. You want to do some physical business. Then you need to interact with people in order to do that business. Do you need somebody else of influential power in order to help you do this? Of course not. You can start doing it right where you are with whatever you've got on your own. And most of us have to start on our own. It reminds me of a situation for me currently. I could reason to myself, well, if I were to meet an influential YouTuber with perhaps thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers who makes inspirational content themselves, because I know they are out there, if they were to share my channel with their audience, there is a good chance that I might suddenly gain thousands of potentially new viewers for this content that I'm currently making. So then it would speed up my road to success, as Emmet Fox would be talking about. But yet at the same time, he also said you're not entirely dependent upon this happening either. So if you don't have the context, still believe in yourself. That's exactly what I'm doing. I know I have to just keep building and working on my own channel, on my own strength, because I actually don't know anybody with such a big, influential reach that is interested and willing to share what I do with their audience to begin with. So I could then instantly be giving up. Some people would. They're like, okay, I don't have the right context, I can never make it happen. That's not true. You can always make it happen as long as you keep building on your dream and keep working on it in such a way that more and more people over time can become aware of who you are and what you're all about, and you can still build your own audience in this case. And then it would show and prove and demonstrate. I'm actually working on demonstrating for myself that indeed I'm not entirely dependent on just these other successful people and hopefully giving me some help so that I can succeed. This is a silly mindset to have. This won't do anyone any good if we're stuck in that mindset. So we have to get away from that. And that's such a powerful thing to grasp, because this is exactly where most people already give up. You see, and he ended this paragraph by saying that if you seem to be lacking in certain qualities that are necessary to your work, then you can always ask God to give you what you need, to give you the power to develop these qualities. What happened to me a couple years ago when I first had the desire to make music, I didn't have the qualities to make music yet. I had to learn that all by myself through trial and error. But yet I desired to make music, even though I've never really studied music. I can't read any notes. I never went to any lessons to play an instrument, but yet I desired to make music and I started doing it. So it is true, God gave me the power that I needed in order to expand this desire in my life, regardless of what I've done in the past, regardless of whether I had any experience in the past. I was unconsciously asking and connecting with the power of God in order to do the work. This is what you can do for your own goals. You have to really think about it for yourself. Are you connecting with God? Are you lacking some power or necessary quality in order to do the work that you know that you want to do? As a YouTuber, for example, I know that I didn't start up making the videos the way you're watching them. I wasn't as confident at all. This is like over a decade ago by now. I wasn't as confident, I wasn't as creative yet. I wasn't as mindful yet of certain elements that go into video making when it comes to being a YouTuber, this and that, but I'll develop these skills over time. And I know I can keep improving on them, obviously, but this is how it happens. Because I've even talked to people in private who said, I want to do YouTube myself, but then they're already confused on how to go about it because they have no knowledge of making videos, they would say. But yet that's silly. You can develop these qualities over time. Don't block your dreams out just because you don't know how to do it right this second. Again, go inside, ask God for help. How is God going to help you? Well, He's going to bring the inspired actions that you need to be involved in order to develop your skills in your own particular way. It's actually going to help you stand out in your own unique way, because ultimately that is even greater to do. You don't want to be just a copycat from anybody else out there. You want to share what you're passionate about in your own way. And this is all dependent on the free will that you've been given and whether you're exercising that free will. Because by saying that it's all up to chance or fate, you're giving away the power of free will to decide your own destiny to circumstances as they are. And that is not being a co-creator with God. That is simply being someone that bows down to circumstances and prefers to be a slave to how things are. Do you want to live there? I hope you don't. I'm sure you don't. It's time to exercise your free will. God gave you an imagination to create. Now start creating, and then you'll see that your destiny is indeed truly in your own hands. Now, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to receive inspirational videos on a regular basis. And with that being said, dear viewer, never forget that we are the dreamers.